Hi, lady. I'm Kathy Woods with the Philadelphia Tribune and Couple Social. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I will say, this season we get to see a little bit of home life. Let's start with you, Latrice. You are, you're working with something a lot of women are working with. Trying to decide if having a family is right for you or if this is the right time because you're flourishing professionally. How did you feel about having that side of you exposed? Do you feel like this is important for other women to see that they're not the only ones struggling with this?
Absolutely. At first, I'm like a traditional Southern woman. I feel like, I have to have a baby for my husband. I have to cook, I have to clean. And that's just not in my circumstances right now. It's just impossible. Like, we're actually building the whole Airbnb community. As you'll see later on in the show, my stepdaughter, she's saying, hey, you guys don't spend enough time with me. I don't see any of you guys. So to me, to bring a child into this world, it's okay if I'm not ready. And I think my story will relate to a lot of women because a lot of women aren't ready and we shouldn't have men forcing us to have children. And, the whole situation that's going on today, like, of course, to me, it's unorthodox, but at the end of the day, it's my body, my choice.
Amen. Lateshia, I am rooting for you, girl. I'm rooting for you to choose you 100%.
Thank you.
And I know it has to be hard because I feel like deep down you are a person that got married to stay married. But you know what? Sometimes we got to bet on us. Are you finding the support and the love that you deserve to choose you?
Absolutely. I'm definitely finding the love and the support to choose me. From my family, from my friends, I love everything. They're saying the exact same thing. Do what makes you happy and do what feels right to you, regardless of what we may want or what we may think or our opinions, but do what's right for you. And in this moment, I'm just really choosing myself.
Absolutely. Ladies, do you also feel like right now as Black women, we are just, there's a lot of foolery being said about us, but are you finding the strength within sisterhood to just stand 10 toes down and what is right for you, Latrice? Because I think, again, what you said is really important, that I have to be authentic to myself. This is who I am. I can't morph into someone else to just, live up to society or whatever people think. Do you feel like this is a time where we have to lean on each other because there's a lot of crazy stuff being said about us as a collective?
Most definitely. This is the perfect time to just lean and rely on each other. Like me personally, I go to my mother, my sisters, even Tisha, like I'm calling her on the phone daily, like, girl, let me tell you what just happened. And, we comfort each other. We give each other that motivation because nobody else is going to do it. Like, it's, to me, Black women, it's us against the world. Even sometimes you have your spouse that's not all the way completely 100 because they don't quite understand like what you're going through or just, don't understand life as a woman. So it's definitely imperative to rely on your girl.
Letitia, what about you? Do you feel the same way? Because again, I feel like sometimes the men, and God bless them, we love them, they don't quite understand that they can add to our stress because they're thinking about, what is happening to them and not being like, hey, let me take a moment out and look through it through her lens. I especially feel like that in your case where I just want to be like, I need you to pause and hear her, just like pump the brakes and then play it back so you can hear her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that for me personally, I'm just going to talk about my own experience. I think that men hear what they want to hear. And what they don't want to hear, they just don't listen to it. And I feel like a lot of times, just like what Latrice was saying, I don't think that we we are heard. So we have to lean and depend and call our girlfriends. There's been several times I have called Latrice because she's married and I can definitely confide in her and things that I'm going through. And it's like, you know what? I'm saying these things, but even in my own marriage, Glenn, are you hearing me? And I don't think that we're being heard. I think that society has put us in a bubble as to where, you know, the traditional down south, we do what our husbands, whatever they ask for us to do and no back talk. But right now, girl, we're in a modern world and everybody's living for us. It's but for themselves. It's black girl magic at its finest. And I don't think that we are heard the way that we should be. That's just my thing. And it's left up to us and us as a sisterhood to stand together, support one another, because we're not gonna get it from our men, you know? So
Absolutely. And the other thing is, I was saying to Carlos, I'm really glad that it is taking place in Mississippi and Jackson, that we get to see a different side to that. Because sadly, there is a lot of stereotype of people from the North, whether it's the vernacular, which is just part of your culture, doesn't mean you're uneducated. Do you think you're helping to shed some of those stereotypes? Because I swear a lot of people think everybody is just going through, it's just horrible. And it's just like back in 1960s. Are you feeling that the show is helping shed some more light on what life is like today for Southern women, Southern Black women, Latrice?
I definitely like everything, thumbs up for me. The South to me is just this whole new world, because most of my relatives, they are from the North. And, when I was younger, I used to go there and they would look down on us because we would talk like how I'm talking. But at the end of the day, the person that I became today is because of the South. It was like make it or break it. I had no other way but up to go, regardless of how I talk, where I come from, the background. People look at me and, like we have different dialects and you may be like, oh my gosh, she's so country. I can't help it. But at the end of the day, like I always tell people, I got $1 million mind. I got $1 million empire. So, not a lot of people can say that they've achieved that. And always thanks to the South.
What about you, Lateshia? I think that, well, I know that I have relatives in the South, so I know that, saying things like fixing to go to the store or whatever is just part of your culture. Just like, where people from New York will say on God and bet, that's just part of their culture. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. Do you feel that you're helping break some of those stereotypes?
Absolutely, definitely from day one. And for me personally, that's been the goal, to change the stereotype of what people think Mississippi is. Yes, we're all of those things. We're going to say y'all, we're going to say things. We're going to say where y'all going to fix them to go to the store. We're going to be us. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, what's not shown is the love and the compassion, the hospitality that we have here. Of course, we're not going to erase our history, racism and things like that. It exists, but there is so much more to the South. And I appreciate Carlos King and the OWN network and people like you who are really interested in our stories to hear and help us change the narrative of what Mississippi is portrayed to be. We grew up here. This is all we know. This is us. But like Latrice said, there are amazing things going here. Women are popping. We're changing what it used to be to modern day black girl magic all up in here, so absolutely. But the South made us, it made me. And that's something that I would never take for granted. It's something that I will always be grateful for.
Well, ladies, I am so glad to have met you. Like I said, Lateshia, I'm rooting for you, choose you, be team you. And Latrice, hopefully you and your husband can come to, have the come to Jesus moment where you can find some balance of what you both want. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.